Hello my friends, it's Donny again. After so much response to my Jamie Hubley video, I really wanted to create a series of videos called Dealing with Bullies that gives bully victims and people associated with the victims a way of combating the bullies without having to directly engage in conflict or entice the bully to cause more problems with the victim. This is pretty much going to be me speaking from personal experience. I've dealt with bullies my entire life, and I've come up with a few different ways of dealing with them. For those of you who have not been keeping up with the news and are just tuning in, within the past 2 months, 2 gay teens have committed suicide. The first one was Jamie Rodemeyer, and he was around 14 years old, and he committed suicide because he was bullied in school. And the next was a few days ago, about a week and a half ago, and his name was Jamie Hubley, and he took his own life as well, not only due to depression, but also to bullying, and I feel like they both went hand in hand, because they often do. And I feel like it's important for people to know what's been going on with these, because bullying is an increasing problem in our schools. Not only American schools, but also in Canadian schools. When dealing with bully victims and their feelings toward bullying, it's always important to ask oneself, how does a victim feel? From personal experience and from what I've read a lot online and in various stories regarding suicides, these bully victims felt neglected, lonely, segregated, avoidant, and they often don't want to associate themselves with the bully out of fear of embarrassment. And I think that's the big problem, because this feeling of embarrassment forces them to not talk to anybody about the situation, which I will get to later. I'm going to use a personal story about how a bully victim feels. I've never really told the story online, but I'm going to now. My freshman year of high school, this was like right before my freshman year, my grandma had passed away about 2 weeks before the first week of band camp. And I was all excited because I loved music and I wanted to be in marching band, so I joined band camp, and I wasn't out of the closet at this time. I was still in the closet, but I was a bit effeminate, and people assumed that I was gay. Well, I got to band camp, and it was great until I had to sleep in the all-boys dorm. And that night, the first night, I remember I was lying awake, and all I could hear were people like insulting me and like whispering at me and whispering to each other, and I could hear my name. Like they would say things like, I heard faggot and queer and all sorts of things. And like it was just so loud, like people would not sleep, and it was just stressing me out. And I just remember laying there looking at the ceiling, saying, like in my head, how much I just wanted it to end, how much I wanted to leave this place and just take myself away from this place permanently. I essentially wanted to end my life, and it gradually got worse. The next morning, when we were going to do dorm inspections, we had to like clean the dorm and make sure it was nice for our director to inspect. And every morning the guys wanted to do something drastic to, impress everyone. And this particular morning, they wanted to take all of the instrument cases, pile them in the middle of the floor, and then take towels and shove them down their pants to make it look like they have large genitalia. I know, crazy, right? Well, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to throw my instrument out in the middle of the floor, because my saxophone's expensive, and I don't want it to get, like, dented, or I don't want any springs to break in it. And, they ended up throwing my instrument out there anyway, without, like, against my will completely, and I ended up having several broken springs because of it. And, they wanted me to shove a towel down my pants. They thought it was funny to see, the gay kid shove a towel down his pants, because, well, he was, the gay kid. I mean, everybody wanted to see him do stupid shit. Well, I told him, no, I don't want to do that. I think it's silly, and I want to get through this day, and I just want, dorm inspections to go well. The guys didn't really see eye to eye with me, and they kept persisting that I did this, and I kept saying, no, I don't want to do it. So they started, insulting me and calling me more derogatory gay slurs, and I decided that I was going to leave the dorm. I couldn't deal with it. I was on the verge of tears. Everybody was laughing at me. Nobody stood up for me at all. Nobody. And I remember walking out, trying to run out of the dorm, and two guys grabbed a hold of me and tried to get me to shove a towel down my pants, and I wouldn't, and they, were, trying to pick me up and bring me back into the dorm, and I, shoved them away and tried to fight them off, and I managed to break free, and I just bolted toward the chapel that was on the campground, and I cried. I cried until somebody found me, and I went home. I will never forget this experience, because it was the first time that I've legitimately felt threatened, and the first time that I was bruised by bullying. Now, the reason why I wanted to recount that story is because I wanted to talk about the reactions many people gave me when telling them about my ordeal. Many people told me that I should have just fought them off, that I should have stood up to them and tried, negating their bullying. Well, that didn't really help, because I did try standing up to them, I did try fighting them off, and it just made them chase after me, and it enticed them to continue. When a bully gets a rise out of the victim, that's what they feed on, that is their fuel, and that's what keeps them going. And honestly, I've had people tell me, oh, just ignore them. I've had people tell me that, my entire life with bullying, just ignore the bully. That doesn't work. When you ignore the bully, they're just going to keep trying and trying and trying until they get a reaction out of you. And if you look at these two new suicides, especially with the Jamie Rodemeyer suicide, he tried ignoring the bullies, and it did nothing. They persisted and continued to attack him on several different fronts. So if you listen to anybody tell you to fight them off, or to ignore them, or to just ignore them, don't listen to them, because they are not giving you good advice at all. What the bully victim should do, and I know this is not easy because situations vary and the level of confidence in people vary, but the best thing a bully victim can do is to tell someone about their discomfort and about these bullies attacking them. The best people to go to are teachers or a friend. See, teachers hold the power in the school. They are the bridge between the administration and the students, and they often observe what happens between students, and a teacher has the power to help you. You need to talk to a teacher. They are your safety net. And also friends. Surround yourself with friends who are trustworthy. A friend who will stick up for you is a very reliable friend. And I remember in high school, I would always tell my friends not to stick up for me because I didn't want them getting bullied because of me being bullied. And they did not listen to me. They went and they told those damn bullies off. And that is the mark of a true friend. If a friend will stick up for you, even though you tell them not to because you are looking out for their well-being, they are a true friend, and you need to surround yourself with people like that. If you surround yourself with people like that, bullies are going to be more against attacking you, because, the basic thing about bullying is singling you out and making you feel alone and making you feel ridiculous in front of other people. After telling a teacher or a friend, you need to go to the school administration. And I know this seems like such a daunting task because so many eyes are on you and you don't want to make a big deal out of the situation. But if people are going to continue bullying you and make your life miserable, you owe it to yourself to go and talk to somebody. Talk to the school principal. Tell them, hey, I'm being bullied every day, and it's really making my school experience miserable, and I'm not able to do what I should be able to do to ensure a great education and a great social development. You need to tell somebody. And another group of people you should tell are your parents and your family members, preferably your parents. your parents also hold a lot of power. They can go right to the school and talk to the principal. And I know a lot of people are afraid of telling their parents out of fear of being embarrassed, which I completely understand. I've been there, and it took me a long time to come to terms with the bullying that I had to go through, and I eventually had to tell my parents. Like, I came home one day crying, and I told my parents about it, and the next day, like, we dealt with the situation. But yeah, the basic point is, like, the best friend a victim can have is telling someone. You need to create a dialogue between the teachers, the administration, and your parents, and your friends. Build a support group for yourself, and don't let yourself get segregated from everyone else because of these bullies. Also, one thing that you can do yourself is observe the bully. Like, they are observing the hell out of you. They target you when you are most vulnerable, and they always try to see where you are when you're most vulnerable. Observe them. Observe where they are all the time. Avoid the places they are active in. And if you do have to, like, walking the halls is one big problem where victims encounter bullies. Have your support group with you. Don't let the bully get you alone. That is the biggest piece of advice I can give. And, like, not all of this is proven to work when we talk about various situations, because there are some situations where it doesn't work, and there are some situations where it doesn't get better. But it's better to try to talk to somebody and to avoid the bully than to just avoid your own emotions and just deal with it, because it's torturous, and it is not a rite of passage. You should not have to feel like you need to be bullied in order to be a stronger person. That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard, and whoever tells you that, they are dumbasses. Like, pick and choose the advice that you get from people. If you don't like my advice, don't take my advice. Like, if you think that what I'm saying here is stupid or unwise, then don't take my advice. I'm just telling you what helped me the most. And it's better to be proactive than to just sit and take all the bullying all the time. And you owe it to yourself to help yourself. If you'd like, please subscribe to my channel. I will be creating more videos titled Dealing with Bullies, focusing on things teachers can do, things friends can do, things parents can do. I think it's important to set a few ground rules as to what can be done to prevent bullying, other than just saying, oh, you'll get better, you know, life gets easier. It doesn't always get easier, and I want to be able to create some sort of tangible way for people to take something away and help themselves. And if you want to keep following my videos, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want, friend me. If you have any questions, if you're a victim and you need someone to talk to, feel free to message me. Add me on Facebook. You know, like my Facebook page. Like, talk to somebody. That's the best thing you can do. You owe it to yourself.